Before we begin, I just want to mention that if you need Grand Archive singles, then you can go to cardmerchantnelson.co.nz and use the code CMNSN5 at checkout to get 5% off orders of $50 or more. Your purchase helps support videos like this one. Anyway, enjoy the video. Alright, and welcome to Card Merchant Nelson's YouTube channel. I'm James, and we're back with a bit of a different video today, doing a deck tech, and with me I have Jesse, aka Yamikin. Hi Jesse.
Hello, good to be here.
Hey, thanks. And we're doing a deck tech of your top 8 Ascent Melbourne Kongming Fractal deck. So, I just you managed to top 8 this event. How did you feel going into this tournament with this deck? Why did you pick to play this?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. In the A and B season, I played Water Allies the whole way through. I played almost every regionals apart from Nelson. I came first at 2 regionals, second at 2 other regionals with Water Assassin Allies. So yeah, it was a really leap of faith to not play that for Ascent. At the very last moment, I was still deciding whether I wanted to play Water Allies or not, but my teammates, who were also on the stick, convinced me that this was the way, and
Nice.
it worked out.
Nice. And I think I saw you top 8'd Ascent Christchurch as well, with a different deck entirely as well.
Yes. I
So
actually planned to continue playing that list, but it ended up being not very good immediately after Christchurch, so dropped that quickly.
yeah, so that was like Wind Unique Allies, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this deck ended up being pretty good into the field, I guess, because was it 2 of you top 32'd?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got quite lucky as well. The Singaporeans on their Sylvie Nico decks decided to not run Safeguard, and that was very strong for us.
That does seem big. Yeah, so we've got a level 1, basically just sort of almost a combo deck, I guess you could call it, right?
Yeah, it's half a turbo aggro deck and half a like huge influence deck.
Yeah, I've given it a few goes after the fact, after I saw your list, and yeah, it is ridiculous. Slight nerf with some recent changes that we've seen to Scepter of Lumina, which
Yeah,
I
Scepter of
assume will
Lumina.
change it slightly, but still probably pretty strong going forward. And
Yeah,
especially some
definitely.
new cards. So let's just run through. We'll start with the material deck. You're obviously playing Spirit of Water, and then we're going into level 1 Kongming. So why have you chosen Kongming?
Yeah, the base of this deck was originally a cleric deck I built at the start of AMB season, and didn't end up playing that, but came back with Kongming. The Kongming cards in this deck are just really, really busted. It's 3 cards: Ardent Cloud Striker, Coiler's Ward, and Hydro Guard. And all 3 cards are just really, really broken. I think Ardent won me multiple games at Ascent. The decks that can't deal with it, it just keeps taking 6 to face over and over. Hydro Guard, it basically draws you one, so you get a free level every time you have it in hand. And if you have multiple and you have Fan, then you start drawing infinite.
True.
And Coiler's Ward, free defense, just always good.
Yeah, I guess because if you got a bit of Empower in there, then the Coriolis can prevent quite a bit of damage and draw a card sometimes as well.
Yeah. So you stay west mostly in this deck, so it's just mainly to block 2 damage, and you get the draw, so you don't lose anything.
Yeah, so it sounds pretty powerful, and yeah, the beatdowns from Cloud Striker everyone knows from the Fractal, not the
Razor Gale
decks,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right, so continuing to the Regalia, we're always playing Backup Charger and Grand Crusader's Ring. Pretty much any deck, I suppose. And then Fan of 7 Debts, you did mention that as well earlier.
Yeah, it's mainly for the Hydro Guard combos, where if you get to draw off Hydro Guard once and then you go into Fan, you get to draw off them again. If you have multiple Hydro Guards, you're just drawing infinite.
Yeah, and as you say, a very high influence deck on an occasion. Safeguard Amulet seems pretty staple nowadays, and I'm sure, as you said, I know the Singaporeans cut it, and that was probably a
Yeah.
mistake on their end.
Was very
Um,
scared of stratagem going into the event.
yeah, true. I guess there wasn't quite as much of that in at Melbourne. It was very unusual.
Definitely.
I feel like the meta at Melbourne was very haphazard. Like there was people just playing their comforts and things like that.
Yep.
But still very good. Shard of Empowerment. So what is the
Yeah, it didn't come up that often, but yeah, it always felt like the most cuttable card. But it combos with Nascent Blast to get the same card back, which ends up being a pseudo draw, and it does empower Corylus Ward as well, so it was okay.
Yeah, almost. I guess if you combine it with Nascent Blast, it's almost a
A
GCR.
draw, yeah, it's just a draw basically, yeah.
Yeah, and we're playing quite a few of those. I see got Water and Wind Resonance Bauble in here.
Yeah, you just want to turbo up your hand so that you can do things. It's
Yeah.
water things, yeah, Cerulean.
Level 1 deck, you can play uh, heaps more baubles because you don't have as much need for heroes and champs. And then we've got Tower of Ring. Are you
Yeah,
scared of allies?
allies is definitely a rough matchup for this deck. You have to see Snow Fairy, you have to see Paladins, so Terraforming just gives you a little space to work with.
Yeah, and you need to kind of find time to get that burst damage.
Yeah.
And similar sort of, well, not kind of similar, but a bit of a tax card again, Viridian Protective Trinket.
Yeah, water, clearly very popular. I think
Just a lot
7
of
people
water.
were on water in top 8, yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of don't, in some turns, you kind of don't want to be negated because you got some very strong finishes that just one-shot people. And then we'll not talk about Scepter too much because it's been nerfed, and I feel like this card is, well, being a level 1 deck, you're not going to play this anymore, I assume.
Yeah, it was too strong, and now it's dead.
Yeah, can't even get it out on your main phase against water either, so we'll probably, what would you put in instead of Scepter?
I think it will depend a lot on the meta, but looking at the new cards, maybe Lantern's back in now.
Yeah, Lantern seems pretty good. Alright, main deck. We've talked about Ardent Cloud Striker already. Let's go over the Fractal package actually first. So
Yeah, it's 15 fractals. It's really funny actually. A lot of the time you open Fractal of Rain, but you don't imbue it. I think a lot of people think you're going to imbue it, but you don't, and then they ask you like, "Are you sure?" And you're like, "No, we don't imbue," because the chance of hitting something good off the mill is just too big. So you just don't want to lose anything, and just you waiting room and hope you see the cards that you want to see. So you don't imbue Fractal of Rain, and then Fractal of Snow, you don't get the class bonus. But
True.
so many people read the effect and they were like, "Huh," and then like you don't use it because you can't use it. It's not you're not a cleric. It's just a 2-cost Fractal and it's very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to get as many fractals on board, and 15 you found was a good number to, have that.
Yeah, it was a good number to have like 2 or 3 Fractals early.
Nice. Yeah, and so we got Fractal of Insight, one of the actually useful fractals.
Yeah, that's probably your best Fractal.
Yeah, getting the Glimpse 2, try and find your combo faster, or just try and bottom some useless cards, like if you're playing against an Arasana, Wind Arasana, you want to bottom those Snow Fairies or whatnot.
Yep, definitely.
That sort of thing. And Fractal of Mana, which you do get the class bonus of.
3 cost is actually quite a hard Fractal to play, but it combos with Nascent Blast. You get to basically start infinitely looping Nascent Blast, and that came up a couple of times.
Yeah, nice. So that's obviously the 3 cost is why you picked that one for the 3 of. Because, but I'm sure some of these Fractal numbers will change in the next set because there's some pretty broken ones.
There's an absolutely broken Fractal next set. 1 cost Fractal.
On into Glimpse 4, like what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. So what else we got here? Some allies. We've talked about Cloud Striker. You've got Frostform Paladins in there.
Everyone's running Paladin, yeah.
And then you've got Hydra Guard Retainer. You've also talked about him before. This big card draw engine. And then got a few funny ones. So Naya.
Yeah.
What is this card
The,
doing?
this card is quite good, but it always ended up being the most luxury card because the deck space is very tight. But she is in theory very good. If she sees like missiles or Cerulean or Coriolis, it's so turbo broken because Coriolis and Cerulean both just draw you one, so it's just a free plus, and they also do things like a negate or damage prevention. And the missiles is always like going for like 4 or 5 or more possibly, so it's just really good. But she just seemed like the most luxury card because yeah, the game
Gets
plan doesn't revolve
yeah.
around her.
There's a lot of good hits,
Mm.
but also a lot of misses.
Yeah, yeah.
And Bubble Mage, you got one in the main deck. I see you've got
Yeah,
one in the side as well.
yeah, it makes your range higher, and we decided that we wanted to rep the damage in day two when open deck lists exist. So it's like you have to respect that I could be doing literally infinite damage with Bubble Mage plus Burst Asunder this turn. And yeah,
True,
so in
yeah.
some matchups you do want to see both as well, like Arasana and stuff.
Yeah, I guess if you want to one-shot someone, then Bubble Mage Burst, that's 3 damage per fractal plus an extra 3 from its base damage, so...
Two, yeah, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it's base 2. Oh yeah, Bubble Mage itself does damage as well, yeah, that's true. Good to remember that. Snow Fairy as well, you mentioned that, just your survival piece, part of your
Yeah, you just
survival.
gotta see it versus allies, yeah.
Would you ever think about running something like a freeze stiff, or what's those? The ones
Torpid Fractal, I think you may be talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up being not relevant in testing because it didn't hit Paladin, didn't hit Turtles and stuff. 2 attack or lower is too low. You just need Snow Fairy to lock down anything.
True. Yeah. Don't want to get too, and it's 4 cost. Yeah, it's quite expensive, but it would be funny if you just like I lock your thing down and I get more stuff to deal damage with.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
You also have a bit of a negates package in here.
Yeah, we're playing water, so we're just playing the negate package. 3 Frostbind, 3 Cerulean.
1 dismissal as well.
Yeah, again, just repping it for day 2. They have to respect it, and then the second one for matchups where it matters.
True, a bit of the mind games thing there.
Yeah, I learned that from Quarax. You just run one of everything to represent it for day 2 when open deck list exists.
True. And then people don't know what's going on. And then you just side them out later and then they play around it.
Exactly.
You do also have a little bit of floating memory there. So Fracturize makes a fractal. So that's pretty powerful. And
yeah, huge in this deck.
You're going to use that on backup charger tokens.
Yeah, definitely the best target.
Maybe a random bauble that you don't need. But yeah, so getting an extra fractal out there, extra 2 damage, draw some cards, it seems crazy.
Again, that's why you don't imbue Fractal of Rain, because your 2 floating cards are also your best 2 cards, Fracturize and Refracting Missiles.
Yeah.
Like, Missiles is going for like 5, 6, 7. Fracturize, you get more fractals, you can deal with Safeguard. It's just if you mill them, it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, and Refracting Missile just is a win condition straight up by itself.
Yeah.
What's the most damage you've done with a Refracting Missile? Do you remember?
12 maybe?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then I guess you've got Nascent Blast and Burst Asunder as your other sort of win condition cards.
Yeah, Burst Asunder is the win con in this deck. Burst Asunder and Ardent are generally the ways you win, and then everything else is just accompanying those 2 cards.
Yeah. So Burst Asunder, when did I guess you said your teammates kind of pushed you onto this deck. How long have you been trying to build around this card and trying to make this deck work?
Yeah, so like I said, the Burst Asunder Fractal package was from my Cleric deck at the start of the season, but the rest of this Mage package and Kongming stuff, my teammates and me came up with around 2 weeks before the Ascent, and we were just like madly testing it, and I didn't know how confident I was. I actually lost round 1 of day 1 at Ascent, yeah.
The submarine.
Yeah, I was feeling terrible. I was like, this deck sucks, I'm gonna go 0-8. Yeah.
And then you just won every game after that.
Yeah.
Sweet. So it seems like a insanely good synergy deck, and only gets better in the next set. So
Definitely
everyone
watch
better
out.
watch out.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, hating on this deck so much, I feel like, in the next set.
Yeah.
Um, before we talk about maybe some quick upgrades, I do have the sideboard pulled up here as well. So Blinding Orb, is this just another card that draws, or are you trying to use it to
Yeah, we don't
get
draw
people?
because we're not assassin. It's
Oh,
just
right.
for your finisher turn. Generally, if you have like 1 or 2 negates in hand plus blinding orb, and like Asunder only costs 2, so you can afford like 2 negates plus Asunder and then blinding orb, and they can't survive that generally.
Yeah, just make sure you get that win locked in.
Mm.
And then Nullifying Mirror, I'm assuming Veiling Breeze is not
Yeah,
a big
very scared
time.
of Veiling Breeze. Versus Asunder is very scared of Veiling Breeze, but I didn't match anyone that was running it.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty low on the field at the moment.
Mm.
There's not very many heavy wind decks running around. It's just all water. Incapacitate as well, some more negate, but you have to pay the full 4 for this one.
Yeah,
Still
and you can
probably
generally
worth.
afford it because you're running so many fractals. Influence is high.
True.
It was quite a strong card, yeah.
Yeah. Still gotta make sure that your negates happen even if they have high influence.
Mm.
And then we have Mystic Purifier, 4 of them. Is this for the team kills?
Yeah, that was not a consideration, but that ended. Yeah, that is a thing as well. But it was mainly for fertile grounds and for fractal rain.
Right, and this card just seems insanely important going forward as well. It seems like every
Yeah.
deck has Fantasia now, almost.
Yeah.
Or like the main players anyway. Unbroken Mustang you got 1 of. What is this targeting usually?
Yeah, just an extra way to deal with safeguard and also ingredient pouch from Arasana. I think I had one Tristan's dagger with it as well at the event.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And of course, Fracturize kind of hits all the same targets as this.
Yeah, but you'd
essentially,
rather
so-
fracturize your own things so you get more fractals for versus under. So
Yeah.
Mustang pretty good.
True, you get a free horse instead of them getting a free fractal.
Mm.
And then the second Bubble Mage for some more burst damage. Like you
Yep.
want this against, I guess, a Luxem or an Arasana.
Yeah, Luxem, Arasana, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And the final Frozen Dismissal.
Again, same matchups like VG decks, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny countering a dungeon guide with these. It's pretty cool. So, as I say, we have a few insane fractals coming out in the next set. I think there's one in the Dao-Chan starter deck that lets you cycle.
Yeah, I haven't looked too closely at the new cards, but
Yeah.
the 1 cost one is definitely broken, and the 3 cost cycle one looks pretty good as well.
Yeah, and I've been testing a little bit. I really like Zhang Jiao, I believe she's called.
Zhang Jiao, yeah.
It's the 3 cost unique that if you have 0 on enter, if you have 0 cards in memory, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, that looks quite good.
It is quite broken.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what this deck can do next format and seeing just how much it's going to dominate.
Yep, definitely will be interesting to see how Ascent Seattle goes.
Yeah. Are you going to Seattle?
Definitely not, no.
Because you need to get 1 more spirit, right? From
I need a fire one to
That's-
complete my set.
is that Kuala Lumpur?
Kuala Lumpur, true.
Oh, well, hopefully you can get your final spirit one day. And are you going to rep this deck with your Serena now?
Definitely, yeah, gotta rep that.
Nice. All right. Well, I think we've kind of covered everything we can with this deck. Thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Well, everyone else who's watching, do you have any socials or anything that you want to shout out? Or
Nope. I'll
Nope.
shout out my teammates who helped me build the deck. Saber, Blivix, and Tomic. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Nice. Yeah, all unofficial, well, semi-official, official card merchant teammates. So
True.
true. Got to rep the team. Yeah. Well, everyone who's watching, make sure you like the video and subscribe and ask us questions about the deck, and I'm sure we can get some answers for you in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, if you need Grand Archive singles, go to cardmerchantnelson.co.nz and use the code CMNSN5 at checkout for 5% off orders of $50 or more. We ship around the world, and orders within New Zealand over $200 get free shipping. Your purchase with this code will help support more videos like this one. You can also support us by liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to our channel to see more of our uploads. Catch you next time.